Questioning Everything with Garrett and Adam.
I don't know. I think if everybody would at least humor what if it wasn't aliens, it'd probably be helpful. Because it's probably not aliens. And it misses out the things that it could be. Like Lazar. I swear to God, I'm probably the only person on the planet who thinks that the Lazar story is actually him being manipulated by the U.S. government.
Which is that's a good theory, man.
In order to fool their competitors at the time, which was the USSR. I don't think that they had alien spaceships. I don't think that he saw alien spaceships. I think it was set up to make him believe that he saw it so that he would release it, because the world's a stage. Once they realized how you can program people to particular realities, memes,
exactly,
memetics.
Though. That's what I was just saying, that we're all programmed on this planet to keep some narrative going.
Yeah, it's just the question
don't talk about your dreams, buds. No, what about those aliens? What about those lights? No, it's just, I don't know.
I don't agree. I think we're conditioned to talk about them. I think we're conditioned to talk about all sorts of absurd things. And I think it's
absurd. You like to use that word, eh?
Yeah. Because there's a lot of things that are really interesting and factual and true, but people are not interested in them. They're more interested in things that have no evidence, like aliens.
But there's been some very good discussions on one of the most popular podcasts in the world,
which is
Joe Rogan, where they've had a few there's a few episodes with this director of a new alien documentary. This is terrible. It's the guy from Unacknowledged on there, Dr. Daryl Greer, David Greer. He kind of laughs at him, but they've had a lot of really engaging.
And it's good stuff. Like, if anybody hasn't seen Rogan alien videos, then they should.
And he doesn't go, fuck, it's preposterous. He's like, I don't know.
I know he doesn't, and he wouldn't like my opinion.
Not at all. I think he'd drive you right into the ground. If I would love to see you on Joe Rogan.
I don't think he'd drive me into the ground at all.
I think it'd be a good conversation.
If he wanted to,
like me and you,
if he wanted to Neil deGrasse Tyson me, he could. Because he has the authority level to cut you down and then move on, right?
Well, that's not what he does. He's very...
No, but he's a 99.99% a great host. But when he decides that what he wants to talk about and what he's thinking of is more important, like, say,
you,
the one video where it was about aliens in paintings. He went off for a little bit about skepticism, and he really doesn't like anybody who could question this, and and even still, with some people, once he gets into a disagreement with them, he can shut it down, say what it is, and move on. And most of the time, it's good. But
he does that with Bigfoot. He's just no.
Yeah, sure. If he wanted to shut me down and say, no, you don't know what you're talking about, moving on, then there's nothing I could say about it. But if he wanted to challenge what I'm saying legitimately, there's no way, right? There's no way.
No way what?
No way he's going to win in a debate where I'm going, okay, there's all these different possible anomalies and explanations that are at the very least more reasonable than the assumption that it has to be aliens, right? I can say stuff like, no, I don't agree that Tic Tac video. People switch in their brain. What are you calling them, a liar? Well, I'm not saying anybody's lying. I'm not saying the phenomena wasn't experienced. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that the assumption that it's aliens is absurd, because all of the things that we've experienced in our world, none of them have been aliens. It's as out there as God or fairies or angels or,
in your opinion.
Well, sure, right?
Well, I'm just saying it's your opinion.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I suppose it is my opinion, but it's like looking at all the available stuff. You can't you can't understand people's belief in fairies and angels and all this sorts of shit and then not realize that your belief in aliens is the exact same thing, right?
Right, I see what you're saying.
It's apparent. It's not just my opinion. It's absolutely apparent.
But I know you're saying it's apparent, and you're saying it's preposterous to even believe that the first thing to come to mind is aliens. And majority of people, for sure, would immediately be like, it's aliens, and that's definitely naive, for sure. My whole reason why I bring up Joe Rogan is because they have very educated people come on there and discuss this legitimately, like very seriously. And they generally go, like, they kind of just go, yeesh, like I think they really do just go down the rabbit hole of what else could it be? Like, what is this? And not that TikTok.
I don't agree. I don't agree. There's such a bias towards that it's aliens that people will dip their toe in the water of speculating some other reason, but they're so happy about the idea that it's aliens that they're not even gonna.
I just don't know why you don't take it there. Why you're so you object to it so much.
Well, because aliens is such a stretch that, in my opinion, it should be like the last thing that you humor. Okay, let's just say this. Okay, in my opinion, because it's definitely my opinion.
Yes.
The idea that aliens are the reason for, say, the Anunnaki is less likely, or equally as less likely, or equally as unlikely, as the idea that people at some point went back in time. Right?
I don't know. My brain's not agreeing.
Time travel is
preposterous.
Preposterous, yes. Time travel's preposterous. Now,
but is it?
Exactly, right? Laughing. No, but that's just it. Because there's this light, tiny little. Hold on, there's this tiny little light at the end of the tunnel that says maybe it's not preposterous. Same thing as aliens. But aliens are so preposterous as an explanation that the idea that human beings go back in time and become these alien gods with actual like airplanes, like the Bermuda Triangle has been sucking people back into 6,000 BC or 4,000 BC. Who said that? This is just, I'm saying. The Bermuda Triangle has sucked people back to 4,000 BC. They suddenly arrive. They've got an airplane. They land. They talk to people. They become the Anunnaki. Right?
Is that actually a theory, or are you just making this up?
This is my theory. I'm saying that is as likely as aliens. They're both wholly and totally unlikely.
Kind of a weird idea like that. Maybe that is a weird thing going on the planet. Like maybe we're just hitting weird vortexes and getting shot back in time and fucking it's this loop that we're reliving here and just getting more and more advanced every time it cycles. I don't know. That's a one look.
In the scale of probability, you've got a pebble, tiny little pebble that says it's probably aliens. You've got a tiny little pebble that says it was probably humans from Earth who went back through a time portal and became the gods of the stories. Mm-hmm. And then you've got this giant fucking mountain behind both of them that says that they're actually humans.
Who is it that are coming here?
The Anunnaki.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the lore that Zecharia Sitchin attributes to aliens are actually just humans.
Well, he's been dismissed quite a bit, too.
No. I was just saying, this is the probability. This is the probabilities scaled. Two tiny little pebbles, both of which are equally as preposterous to me. One, that they're aliens from a fucking planet that came here for gold. Duh. And then the other one, that they went back through time, through a fucking time portal at the fucking Bermuda Triangle. Duh. Those are totally ridiculous theories, but they're both equally as reasonable to me. I'm saying aliens are so dumb that it's as dumb as time travel, which is phenomenally dumb. And then there's this gigantic, completely obvious
mountain,
white elephant mountain that says it's just people.
So then tell me what the mountain is exactly.
Just people, right? You even acknowledge Gobbledygook Tepe, right? Mm-hmm. Right? So now in Sumeria...
I don't think that's ancient alien stuff, though. I think that's pretty just old-ass...
But it's not, but everything else is.
Well, not
You're talking about a culture 6,400 years ago.
Yeah.
Who have a story that you're attributing to aliens, I'm attributing to people. Now you have a temple from 12,000 years ago, or a civilization, right? Now I'd suggest that the Anunnaki are actually just people, right?
Tall people that can fly.
Maybe,
why do they got wings on their back?
Who knows? Maybe tall people for the fucking Mediterranean people that were there, but they're not. There's no reason to believe. Like, we've never found a 9-foot fucking skeleton.
We've also never found a Bigfoot skeleton.
But there'd be a huge culture of people who are 9 feet in the Mediterranean.
Yeah.
In Iraq, in the Euphrates, Tigris area, where we've dug the fuck out of it. We've never found that, so there's no reason to believe that any giant or that Anunnaki were any taller than you and I, right? It's reasonable that an Anunnaki was as tall as you and I, and that the other people were about 5 foot tall. That's what's actually reasonable, right? So the people from 6,400 years ago have stories that go back. Noah's Ark's from before that, right? Noah's Ark's a remnant story from ancient times. The creation is a remnant story from ancient times, right? Like the creation, the Adam and Eve myth, that doesn't happen in the immediate time period, right? That's before the deluge. So that would be in the Göbekli Tepe, or previous to that even. Right. So the whole idea then that there is a culture that we can call them Anunnaki, we can call them Nephilim, we can call them whatever you want to call them, right? Were the remnants of an old reasonably technologically advanced with like good stonemasonry and mathematics and astronomy and medicine and basic shit, that they encountered the people of Mesopotamia, the early people in the river basins of the Tigris and Euphrates, and they brought with them the culture that had died off in maybe some cataclysm. Maybe the waters rose.
How did they cut them?
Oh, Lord knows, right?
There's just evidence. It's like,
no, that's not evidence of anything.
Hold on.
You can't conflate something that you don't understand with an excuse that is just as unreasonable.
I'm not going aliens here. I'm just saying there's those cut stones, those megalithic structures, they've been moved. That's just evidence that something fucking weird happened. So if you're saying that these people, if you're saying fuck the aliens, fair enough.
Yeah.
And you're going with all these old ancient cultures that did this and did that. There's no tall people. There's no nothing. They still can't really explain what their technology is, which would be wild because, okay, so maybe they are ancient races. This is our third or fourth go around.
Yep.
And those guys just had some machines that were like more powerful than computers in a more medieval or more
Whoa. What?
Advertisement loading.
You could join our community, and our community has a lot of good stuff to offer.
Like what?
Like memes. There's a meme channel that has memes in it.
Can't you just get those on Facebook though, Adam?
Yep, you can. And then you can post them in the public tavern in our Questioning Everything podcast Discord. There's also a backstage area for the Patreons. There's couches back there. They're very comfortable.
And like one girl.
Yeah, and we hang out there before the show and sometimes during the show. But during the show, we're more likely to be on the stage where we can live stream special events and episodes. Philomaths get to sit in and observe the
The one girl.
cut.
You're nem sehr